Good morning. So, we're going to continue talking about the Civil War and the approaches of it. Yesterday, we talked about the federal versus state government. We know that the South was in support of the state government having more power. They wanted the state government to have more power because they felt that they would be able to protect slavery that way. We know that the South used slaves to do a lot of their manual labor, and they wanted to keep their workforce. So they wanted the state government to be in power or have more power because they thought since the state government is closer to the common people, they could influence the state government more. So today we're going to move on past the federal versus state government, and we're going to talk about the election of 1860. So the election of 1860 is kind of when Abraham Lincoln starts to be talked about. So the new Republican Party opposed the expansion of slavery into the territories and nominated an unknown candidate named Abraham Lincoln. So Abraham Lincoln was a part of the Republican Party, and at this time, the Republican Party was against slavery. So the Republican Party would mostly be Northerners. Southern states feared that if Lincoln was elected as president, they would lose their slaves because the Republican Party was known to be an abolitionist party. And we remember abolitionists are people who fight against something, and in this case, it would be slavery. What the southern states didn't realize was that the government didn't have the ability to take slavery away from areas established as slave states. They could only stop the spread of slavery further west into newly established territories. So, even though the southern states, they were scared that he would end slavery, even if he was president, he wouldn't be able to do so. States that have already been announced as slave states could not be forced to get rid of their slaves at this particular time. They could only prevent new states being added to the United States from being slave states. And we know that Abraham Lincoln ended up becoming president, and he won the election of 1860. So claiming that they were protecting states' rights and their way of life, with a few months of the election and prior to Lincoln's inauguration, 7 of the southern states, led by South Carolina, seceded from the Union. That means they kind of left the United States. South Carolina and other states, they kind of left the United States and wanted to be their own thing. An additional 4 states joined after the firing on Fort Sumter in April 1861. So a total of 11 states kind of have left the United States. And this all continued to help build up to the Civil War. So once you finish watching this video, go back and complete the Google Doc exit slip. Make sure you write your answers into that Google Doc so I can see the answers and that I know you're actually doing the work. If I don't see the answers on the Google Doc and you just turn it in, then I'm just going to not count it. So make sure that you're submitting your answers onto that Google Doc.